Okay.
All right. Great. Thank you, Preeti, for being a partner in crime. Reading together was fun. So I'll start with the first chapter. The first chapter talks about the myth of being a lone genius. If people feel that geniuses are people who travel this journey alone, that's a myth. So the chapter talks about the ecology of talent. It says that creativity is not something that people do by themselves. Each of us are creative in our own ways. And if we get together and contribute, we can come up with something creative. So, uh, the fact that people felt that Edison or Michelangelo were geniuses and they worked alone in the night by themselves is a myth. Creativity is a team sport. So, that's what is the focus of the first chapter. The second chapter talks about how each of us need to shed that heavy load of, oh, I'm a professional, and become amateurs. The moment we don the amateur hat, we kind of do away with the entire baggage of what will people say if I go wrong, right? So it talks about the fact that all of us who wish to be creative, one, need to work in teams, and second, should be able to take risks. Have the amateur's mindset where you say that, okay, I don't know anything much and I'm willing to learn. So be an amateur because that is what leads you to creativity. Also, the fact that the stupidest of ideas is still a creative idea. So on a scale of 1 to 10, either you consider yourself absolutely not creative and don't do anything, or you join a group and you still come up with something crazy. And that something crazy still is on the scale of 1 to 10 in terms of creativity. And the third chapter very beautifully sums up the title of the book, Show Your Work. In today's world of internet, if you are not out there, and a very nice phrase that Preeti used was called screen shout. So if you don't screen shout and put your work out there, you don't have a voice. So whatever you're passionate about, you need to put it out there so that others can comment, others share their perspective, and together as a community of learners, you grow. So it is not about I knowing everything. Hey, I'm willing to learn. So these are our conclusions of the first three chapters. Preeti, if there's anything you would like to add, please go ahead.
Yeah, nothing. I think you summed up it very well. It's more about like uh, being creative and being a risk taker, as IB says, and just go out there and say whatever you like, because probably whatever you are thinking, as Ashika gave example of herself, like as an entrepreneur, whatever she's reading, it's her perspective and what she writes and how I read her posts. Probably she's just writing her mind, like whatever she has summed up, and not thinking where it can go and connect, who she can inspire. Like it happens in teachers also. Sometimes we say a small sentence, oh, you are doing really great, and the student feels like, yeah, my teacher has said I am doing great, so I feel so good. It's the same thing about writing also. Maybe whatever you are writing or publishing yourself, uh, some people are getting inspired by that. So being amateur in that sense and writing whatever is in your mind is always being your authentic, unapologetic self is the bravest thing to do, I think. That was what we sums up.
Thank you. The second group, chapter 4, 5, 6.
I
Thank
think
you,
Zoha,
Neelu.
you
Thank
can.
you, Preeti. Yeah, Antara.
Zoha, you can go ahead.
Okay, and then you can add, Antara. Okay, so chapter 4 talks about opening up your cabinet of curiosities. So it basically says don't hoard, your information, your understanding, your skills, your knowledge. Share it. And also when you're sharing it, don't be guilty of what you like and what is important to you. You just have to be open and authentic about it and own it. And the last point there is about giving credit, because if the ideas are yours, great. But if you are inspired by others, or if you're sharing, as Neelu said about, being a part of a group, and if you're curating somebody else's work and adding on to that, then credit is due. So that is very crucial. That's about the first, that was chapter 4. Chapter 5 is about telling good stories. And again, I think this, I would make a connection here with the first book that we read, Key Person of Influence, because there again, it talks about pitch and communicating your big game. Here again, the first part says that work doesn't speak for itself. So when you present and share your work, what are you saying about that work? That is the value it has for the people who are reading it or listening to it or watching it. So it's very important for you to label it, to explain what it stands for. So that is where storytelling comes in, where you explain the why it's important, how it can be helpful and beneficial to other people. Structure, it again talks about, having a structure where you start about with the past, that, what you want to really do. Okay, then it talks about talking, then it's the second act is the present, that where are you in your work right now? And the third part in structure is about the future, that where are you going, in what direction, and how the person whom, if you've gone for a job interview, how can that organization help you achieve what you're seeking? So that was structure, past, present, future, which is again one of our takeaways. And the third part here was talking about yourself at parties. This again relates to pitch, because we need to be able to, engage people with, and at the same time be confident about expressing what we value and what we stand for. And the last chapter, chapter 6, is about teach what you know, where it talks about sharing your trade secrets. And we both love these two sentences, which I'm going to read out, which really summarize the chapter. One is, teaching doesn't mean instant competition. Okay. And the other one is, teaching doesn't subtract value from what you do. It actually adds value to it, because you're generating interest when you share, your knowledge and how you arrived at that. So, Antara, would you like to add anything?
No, I think Zoha, you have covered everything. Just one thing I would like to add. So in chapter 3, it says that we need to love our garbage. At times, what we like or what we dislike, maybe other people, maybe I like chocolate ice cream, and other person would say that, oh, come on, chocolate ice cream, it doesn't have any great taste or no flavor. But still, we have to be original, and we need to keep that our like and dislike that makes us original and unique. So we need to embrace our garbage and our uniqueness. So that also, I think that says, and I really like that diagram, teach, learn. So the more you teach, the more you learn, and the circle goes on.
Yeah, spoken like a teacher. We all are here. Okay, thank you so much for giving the summary for chapter 4, 5, and 6. Sujata, would you want to go ahead with
Yes.
7, 8, 9? Yeah, then I'll
Yes,
add if I want to. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Chapter 7, the title is very interesting. Don't turn into human spam. I love the title. Basically, first 4, 5 things I noted down. One is, we are too much, telling our part of the point of view, and, talking too much and not listening to others. First thing they've said is, you must listen more. Then you contribute. Be one line which actually Miss Aseka was telling, I like that also. Be a fan first to have a fan. So that's the thing. Next, there is another point they've said, we are always interested in having a lot of followers, right? Follow people who are worth following. It is not that, I have 1,025 followers, 2,000 followers, but how many are actually worth following, or worth there are people who should follow you. You should also choose that. I mean, just because, oh, these people, let them follow me, I'll follow, because some ulterior interest will have. It is not, it should never happen like that. Then one very interesting part we saw was, they're saying that be with people who give you positive energy. Not, at the end of the day, sometimes, even if very famous people, it's not always that they always give you positive energy. Sometimes you feel, sort of drained after the thing. So at the end of the day, if you are not feeling motivated, positively energized, don't be with those. However important or however famous those people are, you should always get the positive energy, motivation, appreciation. Then only, you are with the right kind of people. And how to build your peer network. Your mission, interest should be common. You should have a mutual respect for each other. That is the most important part. And one last thing they have, one I identified was that talk about, meet people, talk about big ideas, not gossiping and like, about each other's this thing, positives, negatives, not like that. Try to meet people, even if they're online networks. It is good. I don't know, but it is difficult in today's world, people from different parts, that try to meet people in real life, real time, not only online, if possible, that would be great. So chapter 7 is all about that. Miss Ashika, would you like to add anything to chapter 7?
Yeah, the thing that I also liked about chapter 7 is that it says if you want followers, be someone worth following. Okay, so try making yourself a more interesting person. Okay, so that's why you must have seen my LinkedIn video. On LinkedIn also, I put that dance video of three of us because I
Yes.
want to show that though I'm maybe an academic director or something, but I still like to have these fun moments with my colleagues. Okay, where
So one
you
with your
can
son
enjoy.
also. Ashika, I saw
Yeah.
one with your son, Norbo also.
Yeah. So yeah, so try making yourself a more interesting person. So I'm trying to make myself an interesting person. Also being good at things earns you clout or connections. So you be good at one thing, so that people would want to make connections with you. Okay, so be an expert at something. Yeah, that was my take on chapter 7.
Yeah, thank you, Miss. So chapter 8, they are talking about, feedback, criticism. People, the most we are I mean scared of it, that people will be giving negative criticism, people will be talking about us, we are not good enough. So that is exactly they're saying, learn to take criticism, don't shy away. If you are afraid to give your work out, to be scared of criticism, what will people think? That is going to, it's called, artistic suicide. He was, of course, I think, talking more about the art part, but I think in educator, our network also, it is equally applicable, that we are not we are scared to publish new ideas, our own work, our authentic work, of the fear that it is not good enough, people will not like it, it will not be, interesting enough, we will get criticized. But criticism is a way to improve. That is what they're saying. Give out more, people will criticize, that will give you your ideas, that how to improve yourself. And also be careful that don't feed on trolls. That's what they're saying, that don't get scared. Okay, some, see, there are two types of criticism they're saying. One is people give you constructive criticism, they want to see you grow, to develop, become better. And other part is people are, malicious, they will criticize just for the sake of it, that, oh, it's a professional jealousy or whatever you call it, that, oh, this person is not good enough, why everybody's telling him good, why should, let's give a few negative pointers, too much of following is happening. So don't fall for that, it doesn't matter. Look at the quality of the people who are criticizing you, that is very important. Those people who are criticizing you, it's not the number of people who are criticizing, but the quality of the people, or the who are criticizing you, and what kind of criticizing it is. So this is about this 8th chapter. It was a short one. Miss Ashika, anything you want to
Yeah.
add here?
What I liked best is that, which I also used once. Okay, don't feed the trolls. Use the block button on social media sites. Delete nasty comments. So I have done it. Okay, so do it. So the author says that it's no use, just listening to trolls, and I have done it. Okay, there were a couple of people. Whenever I posted something, I just posted that, oh, it's happy to say that I have become a program leader. Okay, this is what how LinkedIn puts in, right? It's not that I'm typing LinkedIn just suggested this post and I posted it as it was. So then one person wrote me, oh, how happy are you? Something like that. Okay. First I thought, okay, now what do I do? Should I comment? Then if I comment, I may sound rude. So I just deleted his comment. Nobody sees it. Nobody knows it. जिसने पढ़ा पढ़ लिया, and जिसको लगा कि हाँ delete किया है, yeah, it's my wall. I will decide who will comment and what they will comment. So I've done that. Yeah, that is a good takeaway for me.
Application in real life, huh?
एकदम. Yeah,
Yeah,
Sujata.
and the last chapter is sellout, which is also a very, very important area, and an area which many of us are actually, particularly the freshers and newcomers, that is, that idea is there in educational world, that, oh, if you have to be a good educator, good person, everything you give free. But then that is what the author is saying, artists, if you want give everything for free, the artist has to eat also, right? He is also a bread earner. He has to live. He's a person. He's a human being. So everything cannot come for free. That example they have given of Michelangelo, who had done the Sistine Chapel wall. That time it was a huge amount he earned for that. He was commissioned by the Pope. So those people also sold their work. It is not that everything comes for free. If he's giving so much, he's a professional. Any artist, any educator, any master in their respective field, there has to be some price for your quality. Now they're saying is that price should be fair price. Don't try to make some black marketing or something like that, that because you are a very famous personality, you're trying to make the most of the money and all that. Not that way, but what you consider a fair price, which people should be able to, at the end of the day, education is also about a kind of philanthropy. You are giving back to the society. So that also you have to consider, but at the same time, your work is not free. That has to be made very clear. I mean, that was the last line, I think. Yes, Miss
Yeah.
Ashika.
I totally agree with you, because the last line is you just have to be as generous as you can. So therefore, share. Okay, keep sharing, but selfish enough to get your work done. But when you're sharing, also be selfish. It's not like you are always sharing and giving your time to other people. Do your work also first.
Yes.
Yeah. So the last chapter, stick around. How do we want to do it?
Miss, I'm sorry, I'll have to leave in the next 2-3 minutes.
Okay, so do one thing. The last chapter, just you can just summarize it and put it on the chat on WhatsApp.
Yes, I just, that's a good idea.
That's a good idea, Ashika. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So thank you so much. I will share this video with you all and with the group also, so that they also will then give us their thoughts. And like I said, see, I can be very blunt and very crude. I am going to remove people who are not active of that group, so that we make way for people who are really interested, because we have given in our time, and I know it is useful for us to read those books, and I think that we would have taken away some important things from this meeting right now.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
so I think then if we are committed to the book club, then we need to give our time, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No two ways about it. Yeah.
So
Thank
thank
you so
you.
much,
Thank